Just want to begin by saying just happy with our guys being able to come back and clean some things up from last week. I thought that they were able to run the football better, tackle better. Execution was solid on both sides of the ball. I think especially on defense, it didn't give them a lot of room to work, a lot of pressure on them, and kind of just suffocate them a little bit there. So that's a positive thing. And special teams continued to be very consistent, which was good for the Hoosiers. I thought there were too many penalties. Didn't really like that. I thought we were a little sloppy in some of those, so we got to get that cleaned up. But took care of business like we were supposed to, and that's what bottom line. That was our challenge: play to our standard, and whatever happens, make sure that we're getting better from the week before. So we'll obviously watch the film and figure out what we need to get cleaned up to get ready for week number 3. Questions?
You mentioned the penalties, wanting to respect Eastern Illinois. Do you feel like, though, this game was well-timed in terms of being able to take some of the stuff you really needed to get cleaned up out of Ball State and work on it in a setting like this where you were always in control and the score was always pretty comfortable before, obviously, next week and then as you roll into Big Ten play?
I agree. I think, we all know what's coming. So I think to be able to have a game like this after week 1 and be able to address the things that we addressed and to see them, improved upon, which is the key. That was real important for us, and obviously, every game matters, and their kids played hard, and our kids executed well. So a lot of guys got involved, which I thought was also very important. And I like the fact that we got to get a lot of guys touches on offense, and a lot of different guys scored, and a lot of different guys made tackles and were involved defensively on special teams and offense as well. So, yeah, I think it was the timing of it's good for us. Now we just got to, keep moving.
How did you feel about Tom, hold on. Matt, and then we'll get you Mike.
Okay.
Coach, I know people are going to talk about the opponent, but the bottom line is, at the end of the day, you held this team to barely over 100 yards. I think they maybe got 1 or 2 plays into your territory. I mean, really dominated defensively. I mean, how pleasing was that for you?
Well, bottom line is this. They averaged over 30 points a game last year, went down to Arkansas in the SEC and scored over 20 points against them, at their place. So, been doing this a long time. It's hard to shut somebody out. I don't really care who it is, and so it is what it is. We play who's scheduled on our schedule, and just like I've always said, and don't take anything for granted. And so it was just a good, solid, consistent performance is what I would categorize. I'm not going to, make it anything more than what it was, but you're playing, a football game, and you got to execute. And so I've been in part of those games when they become very, very frustrating. When you don't execute and things don't go the way you want them to, and you leave there very frustrated by the way you perform because you weren't focused and you weren't executing to the standard that you have established for your program. So, to me, once again, I'm not going to overreact about the outcome other than the fact that every win's important, and we got better from last week. So we just got to continue that climb and make progress from week 2 to week 3.
How'd you feel about the running game, and did you see enough improvement there for you to be?
It was better. I haven't even looked at the numbers yet, but just from watching it, you could tell it was quite a bit of a difference. So, but at the same time, we got to continue to work it, and we're still kind of going through, and you don't have a lot of body work on certain people and what they're going to do, what they jump in and out of, and so. But I thought there was a better push that we need to get, and the backs ran hard, and we just got to keep working on that. To me, that's always going to be, a big deal. You got to run the football. And you got to stop it on defense. So that's a huge priority for us.
Matt and Jim.
He only had 1 carry, but a Cole Guest had a touchdown on that carry. He's coming back from a second season-ending injury of his career. What do you think of how he's been able to come back with a lot more competition in that running?
There's no question. There's several guys in that room that can do something with the football when they have it in their hand, and so he's one of those guys. He's a very talented young man, and so just being able for him to get back 100% and feel confident in his knee and where he's at, and we're gonna need everybody. We understand that, and so he's got to continue to get more and more comfortable with what he's doing in his role, and as he catches the ball out of the backfield and executes the calls and the blitz pickups and all the things he has to do at his position. So it's just those guys are obviously fighting and competing for touches and opportunities, and he's one of them.
Jim and then Pete.
With the way the game unfolded, a lot of guys got to see some action today, but also Michael didn't get as many reps. Would you rather spend a game where he actually played more going into a game like next week?
Well, just felt like it was real important to get Peyton some snaps this year, because of as we get into Big Ten play. I just think it was, I don't want his first live goes would be, in that kind of environment, even though he's played quite a bit. So I thought that was important to get him comfortable, and it's a new system for him too, even though he's been here. So I just think that Michael was doing a good job, and we felt comfortable with where he was at, and got a whole game under his belt, and then half of this game. And so I just want to keep everybody fresh and healthy, and the less hits, the better. And so I just think that those are, even with Stevie, I was telling the guy, hey, get number 8 out of the game, and so, but it's just a matter of just trying to get everybody comfortable and ready, and because we know it's go time here real fast.
Pigs and Zach.
Wop seemed to set the tone early, both with his running and with that one catch.
It was
Big-
heck of a catch, heck of a run. Both plays were very impressive. You're right. I think he did. Our sideline fed off of it, and just the effort he gave on that run, and just was not going to be denied. Was not going to go down, and he's just it really hurt us last year when we lost him. I can't really say that enough. And so having him back healthy and making that kind of play that he made, on the big third down and the kind of throw that it was, but just those plays that just spark your offense, it changes everything, And so I just think that he can provide that. He's a guy, he's not very big, he's very strong, and he's got a ton of grit, and he's tougher than nails. So that's the kind of guy that we love here, and he's got a lot of fire in him too, So, but yeah, he's definitely one of our playmakers on offense that we need to keep getting better.
Zach and Matt.
I know it's obviously not, you can't judge it perfectly, but I think it's 15 tackles for loss and 5 sacks from your defensive front these first 2 weeks. Is it at least as comfortable as you can be with it heading into Ohio State next weekend, given what you maybe didn't feel like you knew for sure about that front
I
four?
think so. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we all know that Ohio State looks a lot different, up front than the last 2 weeks. So I'm fully aware of that. But I think it's like anything else. I mean, you have to start getting all these guys in those. If you weren't getting those plays against these first 2 opponents, you'd be pretty concerned right now, So I think the bottom line is that we're seeing the progress. Now you got to go do it against a top 5 team in the country, So, but I mean, obviously we did it these last couple of weeks. Got to keep working hard. The scheme is what we do. It's what we believe in, and I just thought we played a lot more confidence today. I just wanted our guys to feel that and to get off the field in those 3 and outs. I don't know how many we had, but I don't know what our third downs were, but they didn't convert many on third downs, and that's huge. And to me, it's all about third downs. It's the one negative we didn't get a takeaway. So we broke that streak that we had going. But if we could catch, we would have probably had that one. It bounced off, I think, 3 different guys. I was going to jump out there myself and catch it if they weren't going to catch it. But that was our one for sure chance, to get one. But hey, some of those come in bunches. What I've learned. So, but the kids are playing hard, and our defense is being disruptive, and like I said, getting sacks and tackles for loss, and that's what we want to be. We want to be playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage of our opponents, and so we're not the biggest team on defense, but we got good quickness and speed, and we want that to be our strength.
Matt and Caleb.
Kind of off that about the defensive front, the guys seem really active today. James Head. Last year you guys started him at the bull position, moved him over, and he's playing that again some this year. How nice is it to have that guy with that kind of ability who can flip-flop and make plays on either side of the
Yeah, it's
line?
important, because anytime you got a guy that's versatile, it helps you, and that way if somebody gets injured, you can, flip them over there, and some certain positions guys are kind of locked into what they do skill set wise, but he's got enough twitch to play the weak side in. He's got enough size and mass to play to the strong side as well, so that gives us a great advantage for him. And we've kind of modified some things in our system to where we've kind of allowed a guy to play both spots easier, but not all of them can do it. So he's definitely one of those, and he needs to keep elevating his play.
Caleb.
You said you wanted to get Ramsey reps. Was there any thought to keep Pennington at the end of the first with a possible 2-minute drill just to get him used to that?
No, because I felt like last week we got 2-minute situations that we executed really well in that game, and I wanted to have Peyton in there doing one with this group, with this offense, with new offensive coordinator. Just kind of, I thought it was a good time to get him in there. It was obviously a short drive, As a matter of fact, I was yelling for Ronnie to get out of bounds, and then when I realized he was, probably going to score. I'm like, no, stay in bounds, go score. So it's like, yes, no. But it just, so yeah, obviously it was much quicker than we expected. But, he scored a touchdown. So, but that was the thought process there, was to get him a chance to execute it, in the game. He's done it in practice, done it in the past, but just trying to get both guys ready to roll.
A lot of guys saw the field for the first time today. Jack Tuttle took his first snaps quarterback. Charles Campbell had that tremendous kick, 48 yards. Samson James getting in the end zone as well. I guess, what is it like for you to see a lot of these kind of new guys really being able to get their first playing experience for the first time and see them getting out? And I guess, what did you like?
It's pretty cool.
from the new guys?
I hugged Samson and said, hey, congrats on your first touchdown, many more to come. And the same with Charles. He kicked a 48-yard field goal on his first field goal with us. And it was a little low, but it was still a great kick. That's a tough one, and got him a chance. Our goal was to get him. We were saying, hey, let's at least give him an extra point or two to let him kick. He's already redshirted, so at this point, that's in the past. And so having two good kickers, you're going to need them all, and he's still young, but just to have him a chance to go do that, and all these young guys out there for the first time, and you're just proud of them. You recruit them, you get to know them really well, their families, and they come here to make plays. And there's some guys we intentionally didn't play because we're trying to use their 4 games at the right time. And so there's some freshmen that some may have thought should have played or could have played, or why didn't they play? Well, that was by design. We had to talk to those guys and make sure they understood. They knew the big picture, what we're trying to do. We're just trying to be able to maximize those 4 games at the right time for certain guys. So that's where some that may have, you might have not, would question maybe why they didn't get in there. And that was the reason.
Mike, last one.
Is there anything that stands out to you, positive or negative, about playing this game right before the Ohio State game?
Oh, the positive would just be that just to be able to get in a rhythm of confidence from a week 1 opponent, and trying to clean those things up like we already said. I think that's the obvious one. But the negative is you're not going against the same. It's going to be a pretty significant difference, in a lot of ways. So, but hey, we've opened the season against Ohio State before, so we went from no games to game 1. So it is what it is. I will continue to say, I don't make the schedule. We just adapt to what we get and who we're supposed to play next. So the Buckeyes are coming to town. Elio.